Hey Sauce, as you saw about Rice here, playthrough of Beyond the Rift, a Perdition's Mouth card game by Nicholas Lundstrom Petraka. I probably pronounced that name wrong, I really do apologise if I did. You may notice my voice is probably not the best at the moment, that's why I've been a bit slow with the videos, been a bit unwell, but I want to give this game a go because I've been trying to play this as I've been sick. This is Beyond the Rift. You can play this one character, you can play this with up to 4 characters I believe. I'm playing it with one character with Bastion, and he looks like this. So what you do is you grab like a tile and you switch out, and there's 2 sides to Bastion. It recommends that you play him for your first game. I'm going to run through the tutorial scenario for this. There's plenty of campaign material in this scenario and things like that. So this gets slotted in for him. The purple matches it. Okay, I'll go through this very soon. This will grab his card deck, which is the ones matching the symbols as well. There should be 26 of them. I've noticed that there's 27 for a couple of characters, and it's not said in the component list, so I need to ask that on BGG why there's an extra card for a couple of characters. But overall, that's your character setup. It's pretty quick. When you start the game, he's going to start with what's called 6 action points. So this star with the dots are the action points, so I'm going to put it on 6. I also get to draw 7 cards, which I'll do in a moment. Up here, this is based on the scenario booklet, which is huge. There's plenty of scenarios in here. Plenty. I'm just going to go through the out through the side entrance, which is the tutorial, as it says here. It talks about how in this game, if I get 8 threat, so you'll see that there's multiple of these, like number slash number slash number slash number. So the first one is to be playing with one character. So if I finish with 8 threat, at any point, I am going to lose the game. Another way of losing is if your hero dies. Now, it's not specific how your hero actually dies in the rulebook. Another thing I need to ask on BGG, it doesn't really clarify like, how he actually dies. He or she dies. You grab wounds and stuff, and I'll show that as you go through wounds and fatigue in your deck, but it doesn't actually specifically say how you die in this game. Excuse me. Anyway, continuing on. So it's a nice little reference in here as well. It's also handy to note that there's heaps of different difficulty settings for the same scenario. 7 difficulty settings based on like how many players you have and what difficulty. I'm going to apply on the easy difficulty. The green means easy, so it's easy for 1 player. Difficulty 2 means medium for 1 player. Difficulty 3 is hard for 1 player, but easy for 2, for example. It tells you what to set up. In the enemy deck, I have an Acolyte, Boneworm, 2 Guards, and Eroticas. And that's in this yellow deck here. I've already shuffled them up. Terrain deck, there's 2 doors, 1 empty room, 2 rubble. And I've already shuffled them up in the purple ones, and it also asked me to spawn one of them a couple lines down. So I've already spawned a rubble, which has some negative effects in this game. Also having the quest area an Acolyte and 1 Guard, that's separate to what you've already shuffled in. So the Acolyte and a Guard are here, sitting right here. For example, with the Guard, how to read their stuff. So the Guard, this is what, if they end up doing damage to you, when they do checks, as the game goes on, I'll show you how that works very soon. He's going to do 1 wound and 1 fatigue damage to me. This is how much he costs to engage. If he's 2 range away, there's essentially like a quest area, and there's an engagement area. The quest area is always 2 away from you. The engagement area is just 1 away. So if I have an attack that can do 2 range distance damage, then I can attack that guard with it. I have to engage it to do 1 range damage. At the moment, his attack value is 2. That's how we can compare it. He's got a shield value of 2 and some wounds of 2. Okay. Excuse me. So we've also set up, I've shuffled up some wound cards in here. They're shuffled. Fatigue deck, it doesn't say anything about shuffling. It has face up. Every second one is the same. So I assume that's the deal there. You just leave it there, face up as it says. This is your threat board. For this scenario, we start at 0. So I've done that. If it hits 8 at any point, I'm toast. Some terrain card effects. Rubble increases the cost of engaging and disengaging enemies by 3. So actually, this counts as a negative terrain effect. The empty room does nothing. Other things here, if I get to a door, I can either use my action points 2 plus drawing responsive card. Now the response card varies from -1 to 5. I think there's roughly evenly split, I'm not sure. I haven't really counted properly. One thing to note too, I guess if you're doing English, don't put this in the deck. There's an English version of this, meaning shuffle the deck if you draw it. So you can open doors. There's 2 doors in this deck. We're going to get through the doors. The idea to win this one is to get through the whole terrain deck and survive, essentially, going through. I've also got a special action where I can spend 8 action points to spawn a new terrain card if there's none in the quest area. Acolytes can raise the alarm and raise the threat by 1. Okay. And there's also poison in this game. This is how the enemies act during the enemy phase. It's like a hero phase, enemy phase, quest phase, draw phase, end phase, something like that. So a draw response card, this is what they'll do, whoever's still active in the area. So at the moment I've got an Acolyte and Guard. If they stay there, I'll draw a response card. This is what they're going to do to me, based on the symbology. In the quest phase, if there's a door in play, nothing happens. Otherwise, this stuff happens, based on how much threat there is. So this is how more enemies get spawned or more terrain gets spawned in the area. And I'm 1 player, of course. At the end phase, I increase the threat by 1. Aftermath and reward if we win. And that means I remove all my wounds and fatigue from my deck if I win the whole thing. And that's fine. It's because it's tutorial. Anyway, let's get some simple play going. I might zoom in a bit more. And just on this little questy area here and give it a go. Now, I get to draw 7 cards. And you'll notice 7 cards look like this. There's symbols on them, stuff like that. So, and you also notice just one little side note that these little appendages, because during the campaign you can switch some of these out. It's like this is what you're wearing on your torso, this is what it does for you. And as the campaign goes on, you can switch these out in the future for item cards that are most likely stronger or do different things. Top left up here is the cost. That's like a primary cost. If it's red, if it's blue, if I have a blue one somewhere here, there's one. That's a secondary cost. So I can add this to another attack card. So these 2, I could pay 1 action point to do 5 damage, and then pay another 1 to add this as a secondary attack with it to do 10 damage to do to an enemy. Okay, for example, there's also special action cards which give you a choice. So it's still the primary cost, and then choose one of these. This is your defense cards, which generally you keep till the enemy phase. You play these during the enemy phase. This one will cost me 0, just do 4 defense, which is pretty nice if it's still in my hand. That's your range, really. So there is some that are 2 range as well. That's interesting. I wonder if range does affect defense as well. That's the other thing too. I'm not sure the range for defense. I'm not sure if that matters as well. It's not too clear for me. I'm off to ask that on BGG too. As I said, on your turn, what happens? So there's a round structure here. There's a hero phase, enemy phase, quest phase, draw phase, end phase. Hero phase is the main one. The rest that go quite quick. With the hero phase, you can do numerous different things. You can make an attack by playing a card with a fist action, so that means an attack. I can gain action points by playing a card with the action type. Perform a special action by playing a card with a special action. Pay X amount to draw 1 card from the hero deck. So on Bastions here, I can pay 3 actions to draw another card if I want to. I can also pay 1 and discard a card to draw another card. Discard 1 card to gain 1 action. I can pay an action if I still have any left in the enemy phase to gain a defense. I don't think defense matters at range. Yeah, I'm playing as if range doesn't matter for defense. I've got to check that. And there's also a couple of special abilities for him. Whenever you take damage from an enemy attack, you may put up to 2 attack cards from your discard pile into your hand. Whenever you don't take damage from an enemy attack, you may discard a card from your hand to put 1 from your discard pile into your hand. So you can draw back up some attack cards. Also pay I can pay the cost of the enemy in the bottom corner. So, for example, on this guard, there's a 3 down here, plus the rubble, which makes it 6. If I want to engage them. Engage them means it puts me into the hero area, so I can attack them at range 1. There's also scenario-specific actions. As I said, there was the one where it was like make haste, spend 8 to put another terrain out, if there is no terrain. And hero-specific actions, yes. Okay, so let's give this a go. And let's try and get through. The aim is to get through all the terrain and not die or not get 8 threat. I start 0 threat. But let's show you how it works. This one cost me 0. This one gets me some more action points. I don't know why it matters for range 2 on this as well. It's a bit strange. Yeah, so maybe, I don't know. Anyway, this lets me draw 2 response cards, subtract 1 from the value amount of action points. So that cost me 0 action points. I start at 6 to start with, and then draw 2 of these response cards. Okay, so I draw 2. I get +2, +2, so that's 4. Subtract 1 is 3. I get 3 more action points. Okay, that's 1 card down. There's no limit to the amount of cards I can play as long as I've got the action points for it. In fact, it's kind of good to play most of your cards, or if not all. You do get a bonus if you keep cards of an extra action point, but you have to discard down next round anyway. If you do deck out and you have to draw, you have to shuffle, I think it's 2 fatigue cards in your deck when you reshuffle it. So, a bit of a balance there. Okay, next maneuver. Thinking I might do this. Spend 2 actions. I'm going to draw another card from my hero deck. I notice I've only got 2 attack cards in my whole hand here at the moment. So I'm going to spend 2 action points. Head down to 7. Draw a new card to my deck. And provoke. You engage all enemies in another hero's area. You engage up to 2 enemies in the quest area. That's fantastic. Beautiful. Now there's always a golden rule in the rulebook that the card text, supersedes it. So this one says you engage up to 2 enemies in the quest area. Now, assume that only costs me 2. I don't have to worry about the rubble negative terrain effect. Someone will let me know if I've done that wrong. But I'm assuming this takes precedence. So I'm going to do that. Engage both for 2 action points. So go down to 5. These 2 come into my area. Right here. Okay. And then I want to do some damage here. Now, I've only got 2 attack cards here, which is not great. But I've got a lot of defense just in case it doesn't work. I'm going to split them. And I want to get rid of that Acolyte because he's going to do some threat, isn't he? So let's first hit that Acolyte. I'm going to spend 1 action point to do 5 attack. Now what happens here, he's got a defense of 1. He then draws a response. Now this could add or subtract in some cases his defense. So he gets a +1. So that's 5 attack against 1 + 1 is 2 defense. My attack beats him. I then do 1 wound card to him. I draw a wound card, so I've cut him deep. Ooh, it takes off 2 of his wounds. He's only got 1 health. I wish I did that to the guard now. So you put it underneath like this, and it can affect some of their abilities. You'll notice that nothing happens here. Range can't go below 1. The rest of these can't go below 0. This will kill him, so he is removed from the game. This wound card gets discarded. Okay. Alrighty. So that's good. I got rid of that guy. Let's spend another 2 action points to try and do 5 attack to the guard. Now he's got 2 defense. He's going to draw a response card. +1. He's 3 defense. It goes through. Does 1 damage. Draw a wound card. Okay. What's happening here? Well, he's going to cost only 2 to engage in the future. He still has a range of 2. His attack is 0, which is quite low, which is good for me. His defense is now 0, and he's got 1 health left still. Okay, that's what it means. So he's there in my hero area at the moment. I'm down to 2 action points by the looks of things. I could gain more, but I might sell that card for another time. Because these cost 0 to use as guards anyway. There's not much else I could do. I mean, I could draw another card. Pay 3 to draw a card. So maybe I spend 2 to gain 5. Oh, this is a risk here, but let's do it. Spend 2 to gain 5. So spend 2 to gain 5, so up to 5. I'm going to draw spend 3 to draw a card. Hey, there's another attack. Okay. It's only a weak attack though. But it might be enough with his bad defense now. So let's spend 1. So I'm down to 1 now. To do this 3 attack against his 0 defense. His response is a +2. Beautiful. That will do another wound. Let's check the wound. It does subtract another 1. That will go underneath him and that will kill him for this round as well. Beautiful. Alright. That's what I'm talking about. Rest of these, I mean, I could do some of this stuff here, but there's no enemies that's going to take me in the enemy phase. They get to do, I draw a response card, and based on the response card, I do anything in this table. So if I drew a +1 and the acolyte was still alive, it would do the alarm thing. Okay. Yeah, but I don't have any enemies, so I'll show that another time when I have enemies. So that's the enemy phase. I've then got quest phase. If there is a door in play, do nothing. Well, there isn't. If there is no door, do the following. The threat's still at 0. Discard all terrain and spawn one enemy and one terrain. So discard the rubble. It's like we've gone past that rubble bit. I spawn a new terrain. We've got a door this time. Talk about doors next time we go through. And we also spawn one enemy based on the one threat that we have. The enemy I spawn is a bone worm. Now it's going to do 2 wounds to me. Okay, that's nasty. Okay. Then we get to the end phase. Oh, sorry, not the end phase, draw phase. Now, draw phase. So, draw phase, I set my action points to the starting value +1 for each card they still hold in their hand. So, I still got 2 cards in my hand. So, I get 6 + 2, which is 8 action points. Start this round. So, that's why it could be handy to hold the cards in your hand. But the bad thing is I have to discard down very soon. Then each hero draws cards equal to their hand size and discards down their hand size. Yep. So I draw another 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm basically going to waste 2 cards over, but then it gets me 2 extra points, action points. Now I discard down what I don't want. So that could be some good defense, some good action points. There's an attack. Can be played after determining enemy shields as well, which is handy. There's a straight 5er, which is pretty handy. Okay, defense. I might not need as much defense here. 7 defense for 2 action points. Okay, maybe I've got too much defense going on. So I'm going to discard down here. Let's discard down my guard. They're essentially the same. This one's worse, actually. Let's discard that one down. Okay. So I should have 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. Okay. That's the draw phase. And then end phase. End phase, you have to increase the threat by 1. If it's 8, 7, 6, 6, so 8 in my case, I lose. Well, I'm on easy here, so we start at 0. That's my first threat out of 8. Alrighty, then we move to next round with our 7 cards. So let's see how we can approach this one. The downside, I'm not doing any defense whatsoever, though I don't get to use any of my abilities here. Well, that's okay. I think I'd rather kill things. So, to get through a door, so I've got 2 things here. You've got a door that I need to get through. It doesn't automatically go away. I've got to spend either 2 plus a response amount of action points to get through it, or 2 plus a response amount of attack. Now, since I don't have much attack, I'm thinking I'll probably try and attack the bone worm first, and then try and get through this door. This bone worm's nasty if I don't do anything about it. It only costs 1 to engage, though. So let's do that first. Let's engage it. Cost me 1. Okay. Now, the rubble's not there, so it doesn't add any extra. It's got a shield of 2. So I'm going to do some decent damage here. I could chuck shield 2. So if I do 5, I might have to do more than that. 5 plus... yeah, maybe do the 5 plus 2. So I'm going to do 5, which costs me 1 action point. And the 6. And then as a secondary... oh, actually, this can be played after. Can be played after... Okay, let's just do this. I take it though, if I do this, can be played after turning enemy, then I have to pay the primary action. That's another thing I need to check. Because I can use the secondary action right now, or I think if it's after the fact, it's got to be a primary action again. I'm not sure. I need to check that one, BGG. I'm going to assume Grim Rule that it does cost me the primary. But let's just do 5 and see if that gets through. So 1 action as I took off. And let's see, response of the bone worm is a +3, so that's 5 against 5. So he actually blocks it. That means I'm going to do my battle insight for another 1. Using the Grim Rule there, I'm going to have to use this to add an extra 2 to that attack, which will do some damage to it. Give it a wound. And what happens to it now? It's got 0 health, so Bone Worm is history. Beautiful. Okay. Alrighty. Now I need to get through this door. Okay. I'm going to spend 2 here to get 5 more. So 2 and then get 5 more action points. Okay, that gives me 8. Now the door takes 2 plus a response card of action points to get through. So I'm going to try and use my action points to do it. So 2 plus 5. Oh, wow. So 7. So it takes me 7 action points to get through the door. Okay. Now I've got an option here. If I can get some more action points, I might be able to rush through to another terrain. Might be worth doing. Because that gives me 2. Cost 2 gives me 5. I could discard a card to gain 1 each. Got Faint. Okay, let's see what happened here. Let's do Faint. Get 1, 2. Oh, Jesus. Okay. 0 plus 0 minus 1 action points. Does that mean I lose an action point? I'm going to Grim Rule that. I'm going to say that I've lost an action point there. That's horrible. At best here, I could gain 5 action points, which is not going to do me anything. So, do I want to keep these? I guess I do. Yeah, so end of this, my hero phase. I can't do much more, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm going to stop there. I mean, I could discard this to get an extra action point based on that. I can then get 2 more, which is 3, spend 2 to get 5. No, I can't get to 8 where I can rush to get to the next terrain, unfortunately. Would be good, but didn't get there. Enemy phase, no enemies attack me yet again. So this might not be a great one to show you what happens in the enemy phase yet. Quest phase. If there is no door in play, and we have a threat of 1, discard a terrain, spawn 2 enemies, and 1 terrain in the quest area. So the terrain comes up, it's another door, okay, and then 2 more enemies come up. I've got a Erotica and a guard. Okay. Alrighty. So that's the quest phase. The draw phase, we're getting 3 action points for still having 3. Draw 7. Almost out of my deck too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got to discard down to 7 too, so I've got to get rid of a few cards here. I might keep some defense because I've got a couple of dudes at me. Draws a card from your deck. Now, this is 1 character game. Obviously, you can play solo with 2 characters, which I haven't done yet. Okay, so that's like another hit at someone else. Let's keep as many attacks as I can. 2, 3. That'd be good. Maybe discard that. Discard that. Do as many attacks as I can. I do want to keep 1. Let me get rid of that one. Yeah. Okay, discard down 3. Okay, and then end phase. We go up to threat 2. Okay, 6 away, then we lose. Alrighty, next round. So we've got a Erotica that has does 1 wound to me, so it's not too bad, but has 2 health, 2 shields, does 1 attack, 4 actions to engage. And it has to be next to me to do any damage to me. Okay. I'm thinking... Oh yeah, this was meant to be a reset, sorry, then I get +3, so I'm at 9 action points. I'm thinking we engage the guard for 3. In down. And then... What's he got? He's got a shield of 2. Shield of 2. That's my highest attack I've got. I've got an attack of 4. Yeah, I've got an attack of 4 there. And I might do the copy. You know, this is a secondary action here, so it's going to cost me 2 on top of this. Copy this targeting another target, or copy this targeting the same target again with -2. I mean, he's got... I'm assuming you can only play one secondary action. We'll copy this target, another target within range. Maybe I've got to engage both. Let's engage the Erotica for 4. Yeah, I might need some more. I need 3. Yeah, I need some more health. Let's spend nothing here to gain 2. Okay. And now, as a side note here too, all the characters are meant to have different types of cards. There's 6 characters and they all have different abilities in their cards. So you're probably starting to see a pattern with Bastion, what he's doing at the moment. But the other cards is meant to be totally different. This is meant to be the recommended first character you start with. So engage both. Let's do a 4 attack with the quick cleave. They're both within range. I'm only doing a range 1 attack as well. I'm going to copy this target, another target within range. So let's first hit the Erotica and then go for guard. Yeah, let's do that. That's going to cost me 3. So back down to 1. Yeah, back down to 1. I think I'm gonna stuff that up, but anyway, I think I'm back to 1. So it's gonna be 4 on both. Probably not strong enough, but let's see what happens. Yeah. So let's attack the Erotica first. That's 4 against 3. 2 plus 1 is 3, so that does a damage to the Erotica. Excellent. Okay, wow, he can't move much, but everything else is still the same. I'm then going to quick cleave this guy for the same amount, so 4. And he doesn't defend it either. So he takes a wound. Excellent. No, we don't read that. That's for us if we get them, because we get the same rune cards. Oh, damn it. It doesn't take a wound, but it's really heavily damaged. Now, these can't go below 0, so 2 minus 4 means it's not 0. Okay. Alrighty. So it's heavily... It's like not as good, but still got 2 health, unfortunately. Okay, let's try and finish off that Erotica, I guess. Headbutt for 7, perhaps? Or maybe I just do that and I've got that to play in the background if I need to, yeah. So, but I've only got 1. Ooh, I might have played this a bit wrong here. Bugger. I can't get the benefit of that. These are discarded, by the way. I can pay an action point and discard a card, draw a card, or discard a card and gain an action point if I wanted to. Because I'm not going to kill that guard, am I? I don't think that's going to happen. Just wouldn't mind an extra action point. Well, let's discard that to get an action point. Bit of a waste, but it's okay. I mean, you get an action point if you keep it anyway for the next round. So let's spend 1. Hopefully this is enough to get through. I'm going to try and hit the Erotica. Try and kill it. It gets +1, which is 3. Excellent. So I don't have to use my extra one. It will get a wound card. Hopefully kills it. Let's see. Beautiful. Does -1/-1. That's a 0. Erotica's out. Okay. Guard's still in front of me. Cost 0 to guard 4. This one gives me 7 guard. Maybe let's discard this to get 2, and then I've got my 7 defense very soon, which will be very handy. Alrighty, I'm going to keep this for the enemy phase. So now we've finally got an enemy phase. I didn't do anything about the door, but that's okay. Still a bit of time. Now, enemy phase, what we do, this guy's still alive. He's only got a strength of 0 though. So he's going to draw a response card. It's a +2. So we look up the table. For +2 for a guard, it's going to try and poison me, unfortunately. So poison I can't do anything about. I don't think I can defend it. So poison essentially is a fatigue card. I think it's in the book here. Just double check it. I'm pretty sure you can't block this. That's nothing I need to check, but it doesn't look like you can. Then he puts fatigue card on top of target hero's deck. Use target priority. Well, always the target priority on the solo character. This counts as a special ability. So I think that means, because it's not an attack, I can't block it. Bugger. So I get a fatigue card on top of my deck. So guaranteed to draw it next round. And I can't use this to do anything about it. Okay. He could have, other options, he could have done a basic attack if I got a +1 or a -1 and 0. -1 or 0, he would have done a disengage and attack me. 3 is a disengage, or if he's disengaging, he attacks me. So, yeah, different little. I like how there's different little behaviors. That's what he does. If there's a door in play, do nothing in the quest phase, no problems. Draw phase, I go up to 6 action points +1 because I've still got my shield ball. I got to draw 7. Now, I can only draw 4, one of which is a fatigue card. So, what happens when you have to redraw? So, when you're drawing, if you can't draw enough, you shuffle in. You put 2 fatigue cards in your discard pile and you shuffle it up. So it's as if like it's getting a bit long, the hero's struggling. Okay, shuffle that up a bit quickly. So I've drawn 4 and you draw 3 more. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so just for 1 fatigue card. Now I've got to discard down. Now I think there's a golden rule here. Whenever you discard down, you can't discard the fatigue out or a wound out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, yeah. So I can't get rid of the fatigue, has to stay in the hand. What should I get rid of? 6 defense. I've already got this as 7 defense. 6 defense, I don't really need, I think. So let's discard down that. Alrighty. And then end phase. We go up to 3 threat, 5 away. Alrighty, next round. Now in this round, some people might ask, why don't you go for the door straight away? I can't go for the door if I'm engaged with someone, so it might be a silly move on my part. But I could disengage him, which will cost 3 to disengage him and then have a go at the door. But I think I may as well, for those 3 action points, I may as well try to attack him and kill him. Now this fatigue may be played if I want to. What the fatigue card does, it does -1 as a secondary attack to something, or I can play it to take 2 action points off myself. So just got a defense of 0. I might play it with. Let's play it with this. So 1 action point and then 0 action points with this. This has got an attack of 2 for 1 action point. Now, when you play the fatigue card, it still gets discarded, I believe, into your deck. I'm going to play that rule. Another thing I need to check. I think that's what happens. Got to eat my own words here. Fatigue cards work just like wound cards with a few exceptions. If a hero plays a fatigue card, it must be put onto the fatigue discard pile instead of onto their own. So wounds will still keep going to yours, but fatigue you can get rid of. Okay, that's good. That's good news. So this card, which I just played, will go into fatigue discard out of the way. So I'm trying to do 2 attack against his 0 defense so far. His defense is 3. Well, I can't play the secondary because fatigue was a secondary. Bummer. So that's a wasted attack. He defended it, or sorry, I dodged it. Alrighty. Surely he can't dodge 5. I mean, come on, 5. Yeah, let's attack him. I've got 2 cards here. So let's go attack of 5 for 1 action point. Attack of 5 +2 gives him 2, so that goes through, gives him a wound. And this wound just takes off 1. Okay. And then so that gets discarded. This is 2 action points to just do 3. Jeez. I think I've got to give it a go. Because I really want to kill this guy. Or do I draw another card? Oh, jeez. This is a big risk here. I'm going to pay 2. Do 3 damage. -1. Well, he's already on 0. Excellent. So that hits him for the second wound. Hopefully that kills him now. Beautiful. It does. All these add up to -2. So he's finally out of here. That guy's been surviving for a while. Excellent. Now I can focus on getting through this door. Just probably with my extra action points that I've got. Let's first grab some of this stuff. So 2 response cards take away 1 action points. So we're 2 plus 1's 3. Got myself 2 action points there. Alrighty. And then I'm gonna have to spend 2 action points to get 5. Spend 2 to get 5, so up to 8. Beautiful. And then when I open this door, there's no one here in my hero area to hurt me, so to stop me from doing it. So I've got to do a check where it's 2 plus response card of action points. 2 plus 1 is 3, so 3 action points. We'll get past that door. Okay. I can't make haste here, unfortunately. I could discard this to get 1 more, but that's only 6. So may as well keep it for the next round, I think. Alrighty. Enemy phase, no enemies. Quest phase. So up to 3. Up to 3 here. There is no door in play. Discard all terrain and spawn 2 enemies in the terrain in the quest area. So terrain, we've got 2 terrain to go. It's an empty room. 2 enemies. Alright, Rotica and an Acolyte. Okay. Draw phase, I go up to 6. Plus 1 in my hand is 7. Draw 7 more cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Discard 1 down, which can't be the fatigue card, unfortunately. May need shields this time. Discard 1 down. I mean, I had this in my hand for a while now, haven't I? No one's doing big damage, so let's get rid of Shield Wall. Okay. And then end phase, we go up to 4 threat. Ooh, we're 4 away, halfway up there. There's an Acolyte there that could just raise the alarm. Empty rooms don't add any negative or positive terrain effects. It's just an empty room just to get through. Okay. I think I'm going to engage him for 2 action points. And then just whack him with the Train Strike for 1 extra action point. 5. Response card is a +4. Wow, so that's 5 defense. I better play... So this one as an extra action point. Again, Grim Rule. I'm not sure if you could do secondary there or not. Actually, it makes sense. I'm going to say it does. I think you can do that as secondary after that. Surely. Yes, I'm going to say yes. I'm playing it 2 different ways now. Adds extra 2, which would do a wound to him. And the wound, wow, it's a big one. Takes off -2, so Acolyte's down. So I don't want him to raise the alarm, because on the enemy table he can add threat. Okay, down to 4. Okay. Let's spend 2 extra points to get 5. 2 and then get 5. Engage Rotica for 4. And then going to, I can't do much else here, can I? We've got 3 action points left. Let's just do a hit for 3. He definitely blocks that. Let's do another hit for 3. And he doesn't block that one. So that wounds him through. Beautiful. Okay, unfortunately. Now I can't discard this card out of my hand. Let's just use it to, so I played it to get rid of 2 action points. And I'm going to keep this in my hand to guard if he attacks me, which he will. Enemy phase. Rotica's going to try and hit me. He's got 1 attack. I'm going to use my guard. So it gives me 4 defense. I may as well use this because it's wasted anyway. So it's 5 defense plus, so because I use 1 in the enemy phase to gain a defense. So that gives me 5 defense against his attack of 3. Blocked it. Whenever you don't take damage from an enemy attack, you may and I probably forgot this before. Whenever you don't take damage from an enemy attack, you may discard a card from your hand. Oh, so this is my last card that I had, so I can't do it anyway. No dramas there. All right, enemy phase, quest phase. If there's no door in play, use the correct table. So we're up to 3+, discard the terrain, spawn 2 enemies and a new terrain. So I'm going to spawn 2 enemies here. Now, enemies don't get reshuffled. I've got only 1 enemy left in the deck. Same as terrain. This is the last terrain. I've got 1 more room to get through, which is a rubble room. This is the last enemy that can come at me, which is a guard. And the Erotica comes with me to the new room, I assume. Draw phase, I draw up to 7. I've got no cards in my hand. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No need to discard down. And then, just put this to the side. And then the threat ticks up to 5. But this is our last room. We should be good here. Just got to survive this last room. Try and do as much damage as I can. So in this last room, all I've got to do is just survive this, essentially. I should be fine. I'm not sure how I actually die in this. It doesn't really say how you really die in this game. I assume it's meant to be a certain number of wounds, but it doesn't actually say. Let's lose. Anyway, let's just keep playing. I'll get that clarified on BGG. I can engage the guard if I wanted to. For 2 instead of 6, because he's on the rubble. Maybe we do that. Oh, it was meant to be up to 6 as well. And I've also got the cleave, which is pretty cool. Yeah, let's do that. So I'm going to provoke, spend 2 to engage up to 2 enemies in the quest area. He's going to come to me, the guard. What's my biggest hit? The block and slam. Give me 1. +2, I might hit 2 different targets here. So 1 + 2 is 3 action points. I'm going to do 4 damage, and I'm going to do copy this targeting another target within range. It's in range 1. So let's hit the Erotica first. For 4, it's got 0 defense. 4 + 1 is 1 defense. It is hopefully toast. It is. That's -2 defense. So it's gone. 1 enemy left, and then the same attack to this guy over here. So it's a 4, but he blocks it. And I can't use another secondary because I've already used a secondary attack on that. Okay. Is there a way I can take this guy out? Got 1. Let's just get 2 more action points for free. I don't think we can do much here. I can spend 2 to draw 1 from a deck and see what happens. Let's do that. Spend 2 to draw from a hero deck. There we go, there's a 4 attack. Let's do that. Cost me 1 to do a 4 attack. He does +3. So that's 2, that's 5. He blocks that, so I'm going to have to use this as my secondary. Add an extra 2, which would do 1 damage to him. But that's all I can do. Then in the enemy phase, I'm going to use that as 5 defense against the guard. He's going to try and hit me for... He's got +1. He's extra angry with that wound. 3 + 3. 6. He finally hits me. I finally get hit. Okay. In the very, very last turn of this whole thing. So when I get hit, I'm going to take a wound. One of the ways of losing the game is if you run out of wound cards. I've still got a few left. So this guy gives me a wound, goes to my hand. Which is a 0 defense card. And I also get a fatigue card to my hand. Straight to my hand. And that's what he does. I took damage though from an enemy attack. You may put up to 2 cards we just can put onto your hand. Well, technically I'll probably grab the 2 highest attacking ones. There's a 5. I'm going to grab that, probably that bonus card. Where was that? So it's got that symbol there. This one's got that symbol as well. So that's going to come to my hand. I'm getting angry. But anyway, that's the enemy phase done. Quest phase, well, there's no door in play. So if there's no door in play, discard the, and I'm at 5 threat. Discard the terrain and spawn 2 enemies. Well, there's no more enemies to spawn. There's no more terrain to spawn. So this one triggers the end goal. The goal of the scenario is to escape the abyss rift. If a terrain is supposed to be spawned and there is no card to spawn, the heroes have escaped and won the scenario. Woohoo! So I'll win. See you later, guard. I'll run out. Let's exit. You can't chase me. All heroes may remove all wounds and fatigue from their deck. Well, I plan to do that and then go on to campaign 1. Nice little misprint there, whoopsie. But yeah, there's plenty of campaigns in this. There's campaigns for certain characters as well. As I said, there's different types of characters. Like, if you want me to show you anything else, here's another character. And this is the special card I'm talking about, which is an extra 27th card, which I need to talk about as well. But this is a different character. There's plenty of text on a couple of those cards, but you know, nice and simple still. Like, symbology is not too bad. Okay, probably not too much variation in things. Here's just another character I just grabbed. There's 6 characters in this set that I have. So this card's got a bit more text on their card. I haven't played with 2 characters yet. I'm assuming it's one of those games where it's probably better with 2, because you can aid each other and things like that as well. There's heaps of different types of enemies. The scenarios are meant to mix up things as well. But yeah, there you have it, guys. That is Beyond the Rift, a Perdition's Mouth card game. Hope you enjoyed. Any questions, let me know in the comments. I'll probably made a few rule goofs, things like that. But Solace, crush your gaming thirst. Play solo.